Well, hey guys, welcome back to Salt and Pepper Gaming.
Today we're going to have a look at the PlayStation 1.
How did you stuff that up? Well, hey guys, welcome back to Salt and Pepper Gaming.
Today we're going to have a look at the top 10 PlayStation 1 games of all time.
Let's go.
When picking our top 10, we didn't realize how many actual great games there are on the PlayStation 1. So it was really tricky to pick 10, but we did. So at number 10, we have Crash Bandicoot.
So, Nintendo has Mario, Sega has Sonic, and PlayStation had Crash. And that little Bandicoot has given us many hours of absolute fun gaming as kids. So levels range from side-scrolling to being chased by a rolling boulder. His only attack is jumping on enemies or spinning them. But timing is everything in this game. The key component is crashing all the crates in the levels and collecting all the fruit to get an extra life, including getting help from your armor guide, Aku Aku.
So I know there's some of you that think this game should have been higher in our top 10, but when you look at the rest of our top 10, you can see why it was really hard to try and place some of these in our top 10. But I love this game from when I was a kid. Trying to get through every single level. And at number 9 is Grand Theft Auto, all known as GTA. We're still waiting for GTA 6, but let's have a look at GTA 1 and 2 and why it's such an awesome game on the PlayStation 1. GTA focuses on an open world style gameplay where the player can complete missions to progress an overall story, as well as engage in various side activities too.
Some of the perks we liked about this game is the fact that you can get in different cars, radio stations playing in the background.
It was pretty sweet to have an open world style game for the 90s where you could do whatever you want. You wanted to steal a bus or steal a truck or steal a police car, you could do it and you didn't have to stick to the main mission of going to A to B. So it was pretty sweet for a game for the 90s.
And that's why it is our number 9. And coming in at number 8 is Tekken 3.
Tekken 1 and Tekken 2 were incredible games, but nothing could come close to Tekken 3. Many fans and critics considered it the best Tekken game ever. In 1998, the game was a breakthrough for Tekken series and the whole fighting genre. You can thank Tekken 3 for the release of some of the best fighters in the series also. Tekken 3 features a largely new cast of characters, including the debut. It says debut.
It's pronounced debut.
Tekken 3 features a largely new cast of characters, including several now staple characters such as Jin Kazama, Brian Fury, and Eddie Gordo, with a total of 23 characters.
Tekken 3 has become one of the best-selling fighting games on PlayStation, with selling over 8 million units and coming 5th in its actual category. I'd say it's done pretty well.
One of my favorite characters was using Eddie, maybe because I wasn't probably good at fighting games where I just spam the kick button with these obviously breakdancing. So you could I'd feel like I'd win every single round just because I kept spamming.
Yeah, I hated versing you when you were Eddie Guerrero. I think that's what his name was.
It was still an awesome game. So at number 7, we couldn't actually agree what the number 7 should be. So I've got my number 7, and he's got his,
which is the right number 7.
So sitting at my number 7 is Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. The whole game is odd from the start to the finish, and that's why we love it. For those still wondering what Abe is, he's a Mudokon slave who works at a meat processing plant. So that's why he's got his mouth sewn shut in most of the pictures. The game follows Abe's attempts to save his persecuted race, freeing as many weird and wonderful beings as he can while traveling through perfectly designed worlds and engaging levels. Some unique things about this game is when you found one of your friends, you indicate on the controller to communicate, and you go, Abe, and then he'll go, hello.
Hello.
And follow me.
Okay.
That was so lame.
I love it when he farts.
But either way, it was a bit of a weird game for the PlayStation 1.
That was
but
great.
That's why, for me, it stood at number 7.
Well, let's look at what I think should have been the number 7 game. This is my number 7, and that is Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. What I loved about this game was its intriguing gothic style story game and its high quality of graphics. It's also a compelling puzzle game that enables you to travel between 2 different realms in order to complete certain puzzles. The combat style of this game is a typical hack and slash system involving the use of a whole bunch of different combinations. Truly one of the bests. I absolutely love this game. I was hooked from the very beginning, and that's why it is my number 7.
Were you snoring too while you were hearing that?
Well, let's come up with our Salt and Pepper's number 6, and that is...
I don't know, actually. And a game we can agree on at number 6 is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I guess. You could somehow cheat and put them together.
I'm just letting you guys know that we did put a PlayStation in between the last 2 reviews. Didn't magically appeared.
Yeah, ignore the first 30 seconds of the video.
While Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 were great games, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 we think is one of the best Tony Hawk games, and when it was released in HD on all consoles, that solidified that fact for us.
One of the funnest things to do in this game was trying to get the highest combo possible in the game and see how many combos you can get in one turn or take was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. And what I love about Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is the fact that they give you little things to do throughout the game, not just doing combos. Like, for example, they had the word skate, S-K-A-T-E, all over the park, and you had to collect them all in a time matter. That was really cool. You could find secret locations within the map as well, which was awesome fun, like finding a new area to skate in.
And that's why Tony Hawk had to be in our list of top 10 at number 6. And at number 5 is Tomb Raider.
Well, in 1996, Tomb Raider was officially released to us, and this was an action-adventure game that was first released on the Sega Saturn, then it made its way eventually onto the PlayStation, and it was a game that we'd never experienced before in gaming history, and the world fell in love with Lara Croft.
This game follows archaeologist adventurer Lara Croft, who was hired by a businesswoman to find an artifact called Scion of Atlantis. This game felt like what a good Indiana Jones 3D game should have been, which is no surprise because Lara was actually inspired by Indiana Jones and a character called Tank Girl. Tomb Raider felt like a 3D version of Prince of Persia that was on the PC, where you would walk from ledge to ledge or jump from ledge to ledge, avoiding spikes from down below.
What I did like about Lara, which was really different from other games, is the majority of the things you killed were animals. So there wasn't many humans. You were in a cave most of the times, or in the whatever, and you're killing animals rather than humans, which was a different spin on action adventure, which is quite different. And we absolutely are a fan of Tomb Raider, and we're continually playing it till this day on new gen consoles. So that's why it is on our top 10.
And at number 4 is Resident Evil 2.
This game was truly a scarefest for the mid-90s. Unlike the zombie games we are all exposed to today, this game relied on the element of surprise. You never knew where the zombies would come from, and they would just creep around the corner waiting for you. So let's talk about the graphics for a second. I love the way they've rendered it. It's smooth, it's capturing the color scheme that they've used. And it's
yeah, tell me about that color scheme, Sal. What color scheme are you referring to there?
Yeah, I love the color scheme in this game.
What we loved about Resident Evil 2 was obviously the storyline, the cutaway scenes, and the voice acting. It really drew you in. And the graphics, they looked absolutely special on the PS1. I think they did a great job on that.
So we cheated a little bit for our number 3, and we've picked Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 2, just because.
This is actually a top 13 now, but continue.
Yeah, so 2 top 7s, 2 top 3s. Gran Turismo 1 started what we know today as the Gran Turismo series, but technically Gran Turismo 2 was the better game in our eyes. Gran Turismo requires players to earn different levels of driver's license in order to qualify for events. You can earn credits, trophies, and prize cars by winning races. Credits can be used to purchase additional vehicles and for parts and tuning. The difference between the two games, Gran Turismo featured 178 cars, while Gran Turismo 2 featured nearly 620 cars. Gran Turismo 1 had 11 tracks, but Gran Turismo 2 had 27 tracks, including rally tracks.
What we loved in Gran Turismo 2 was the attention to details, from the tracks, the location, to the cars itself. It looked absolutely incredible, and back then you weren't exposed to games like that before. You weren't exposed to cars like that. So that's why Gran Turismo 1 and 2 is our top 3.
So at number 2, this game, either you played it and loved it, or you never played it so you couldn't say how awesome it was Final Fantasy VII. This game was a game you could spend hours and hours and hours playing this game, And for back in the day, man, it was one of the best role-playing games on the console.
Yeah, you definitely had to make sure you had plenty of memory cards for this game.
What I loved about this game is that you could have so many characters throughout the game that you could upgrade, customize, and take along that journey to fight Sephiroth, the ultimate bad guy in this game. There are 5 kinds of materia. Magic materia like fire, ice, earth, and lightning. The summon materia where you could summon these awesome creatures to help you in a battle like Shiva, Ifrith, and the Knights of the Round.
You could spend hours playing this game. Actually, it would take you around 37 to 40 hours to complete it. And it was that long of a game that on the PS1 it came in 3 discs form. You can tell that this game was a pretty big game and very detailed. The graphics were incredible. The cutscenes were absolutely brilliant. And the story, the audio, it was such a brilliant game that they needed to release it on the PS4. Well, usually at this point we would add in an honorable mention. Now we've done this before in our Super NES Top 10 and our 64 Top 10, but a lot of you guys came back and said, hey, why don't you just add them to the list? So this time we're not going to do one.
We're not going to have any honorable mentions then.
Even though we would quote, put Spyro onto the list, we would put Destruction Derby onto the list, and a whole bunch of other games. But
Yeah,
we're not going to mention them. Wink, wink. Our number 1 top 10 of all-time PlayStation 1 games is...
Metal Gear Solid.
We needed, like, the hype was built for
Metal
nothing.
Gear Solid!
Metal Gear Solid was an absolute cracker of a game, and I can't believe they haven't made a movie out of Metal Gear Solid, to be honest.
True.
They made movies out of all these other games, but not Metal Gear Solid, and it is such an incredible game for so many reasons. Players control Solid Snake, a soldier who infiltrates a nuclear weapons facility to neutralize the terrorist threat from Foxhound, a renegade special forces unit. Snake must liberate hostages and stop the terrorists from launching a nuclear strike. To remain undetected, the player could perform techniques which made use of Snake's abilities and the environment, such as crawling under objects, using boxes as cover, ducking or hiding around walls, and making noises to distract enemies. Well, if you're into high thrills, action, gun blazing, and loads of noise, then this game isn't for you. This game was all about stealth, tactic, storyline, and incredible voice acting.
But you could get into gunfights in this game, making it sound like you can't kill anyone.
It's a stealth game. It's like Splinter Cell. Remember Splinter Cell?
Yeah, but you can kill people in a game though.
But you don't do guns blazing.
Some of the things we loved about this game was the voice acting, and it almost felt like you're watching a movie as you play the game, which made it pretty sweet for a PS1 game.
Doing here? I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention.
What we liked about the game is the way that you could interact with other characters using the radio to have a save game, the storyline that continued throughout that as well. Yeah, we think Metal Gear Solid is definitely one of the best PlayStation games of all times, and that is why it is our number 1 on the PlayStation Top 10.
Well, that was our top 10 PlayStation 1 games. Let us know down in the comments down below what games you think we should have added to the list.
Make sure you check out our other top 10s for more content, but we'll see you guys next time.